I'm delighted to share with you some information about how the yoga of sound can help to reverse stress in the body. This is a subject that is super fascinating for me, and I'm going to post a whole bunch of research articles and links for you in the follow-up comments here. But just to give you an idea of two branches of the yoga of sound and how they both contribute to developing an awareness of stress in the body and mind, and also how they can help as tools to give us the empowerment to reverse the stress response and move into a rest, digest, and healing repair response. So those two branches are mantra and nada. So mantra being the practice of repeating Sanskrit sound formulations as a meditative practice. A lot of people call mantra like yoga for the mind. And then nada being the practice of vibration. So honing in on sound vibration, and the way that we'll talk about it specifically is sound vibration as long sustained singing of vowel sounds. So those are two branches of the yoga of sound that have been cultivated, refined, approached in a very scientific manner for thousands of years, testing, retesting, adjusting, retesting the practices by the yogis of India, and we have these two treasures of pathways to self-healing and empowerment through the yoga of sound. So first I'll talk about mantra first, because many of you probably have heard about mantra. You know vaguely what it is to chant a sound formula in a repetitive way. So usually what we do is we pick a mantra and we chant it for a certain period of time, or we chant a certain number of mantras. And what that does for our mental function is it gives us the chance to have a rhythmic pattern of our mind activity, which gives us a chance to look at and kind of open up the Pandora's box of what's going on in our minds without our conscious choice. And we're able to kind of open some space by the repetitive nature of the mantra that gives us the ability to peer in to see what's going on there. You could say that it strengthens your awareness muscle as you practice, and especially as it becomes a regular practice, that awareness muscle gets stronger and stronger, and the ability to see and observe without becoming identified with your thoughts also gets stronger and stronger. So because we know that the mind and the body are not just connected, they are inseparable, what we think affects our whole hormonal and biochemical cocktail that is going on in our bodies. And so if we're repeating unconscious, negative, self-sabotaging thoughts, then our cocktail is probably stressful and probably contributing to degeneration in our bodies, not to mention, causing emotional and mental and relational stress. So mantra is the practice of the ancients of India and many other cultures, by the way. Almost every culture in the world has some form of repetitive or meditative chant. And that practice, like I said, gives you that ability to open up and see what's going on. Because if you can't see it, you're not empowered to change it. So we can get a handle on what our self-sabotaging thought patterns are, which gives us the ability to mold them, shape them, alter them in such a way that we are beginning to alter the chemistry in our bodies to have more ease, more rest, more regeneration and creativity in our lives, and move into the parasympathetic nervous system state, which is our healing response. So that aspect of the yoga of sound is so fundamental, and I have never met anyone who wouldn't benefit from mantra. So I'll leave it at that. I've got tons of free resources, as well as even teacher training level depth material on mantra and Sanskrit sounds, so you can check that out. And let me go into the next branch, which is another fascinating aspect of the yoga of sound, and that is the nada, or the science of vibration. So when we talk about vibration in this context, I'm talking about singing a long vowel sound that becomes a meditation. So the meditation is on tuning the instrument of your body to open the voice and allow the sound of your heart, your true feeling, to come out on the voice. And that's a whole practice in itself. It is the music is the yoga in Nada yoga. Now, what I'm going to hone in specifically for you on this video is what's happening in our body when we do that. So when we sing, when we make a sound, there's a vibration that starts to massage what's called the vagus nerve. And I'm pointing back here to the back of my head. It's in the starts up here at the base of the skull, goes all the way down through your spinal column, and then the vagus nerve, it's called the vagus, which means not like Las Vegas, but V-A-G-U-S, and it means the wanderer in Latin. And it wanders with so many branches into our entire digestive system, and it actually innervates all of our major organs. So it is they call it like the master switch between our sympathetic nervous system, the stress response, and the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, digest, repair response. So when we sing, we are giving an ultrasonic massage to the vagus nerve, and it increases the tone of the vagus nerve to make it easier to switch from stress back into rest. And you know, our stress response is what has enabled us as a species to survive evolution. So we don't want to label it as bad, because thank you for saving us from the tigers, right? And thank you for that kind of jolt that you get when you see when you almost get hit by a bicycle walking on the street. There's that stress response that kicks in and takes over our function to protect us. But we also know, most of us know, in modern life, there's so much overstimulation. There is so much coming at us all the time, and we're in, most of us are in this really a chronic state of stress, to the point where many of us don't even know what it feels like to not be stressed. So one of the things that happens when we start to explore the nada yoga, or the practice of that vibration, the toning, the singing through as a meditation, we begin to become very aware of how much gripping in defensive holding we have from the stress response. It's like this chronic tension, yeah. And then when we sing, we start to become aware of that, and then it's difficult, it's painful, it's challenging. But if we do it as a meditation, like as a practice of self-transformation, we can begin to just incrementally relax and give ourselves permission to feel safe in the body, and to feel safe with our voices, and to allow a flow of open communication, of this, wow. In doing that little dramatization for you, I'm getting the vibe myself. Forgive me, but that ability to use the sound-based practice as a model for rewiring our stress response, giving us much more acute self-awareness, so that we can make choices in those trigger moments, and we can be really aware, keenly aware of when we're in that unconscious gripping, and give ourselves permission to rest, digest, and repair, really to feel safe. Because most of the chronic stress is just accumulating on top of itself, and a lot of it's mental, some of it's environmental, some of it's warranted. But once we really start to take a look at it, a lot of that stress is just habitual, and it's probably not necessary in this moment. And I'm saying this moment because that means every moment. And we can give ourselves an opportunity, an invitation to relax more deeply. So when that starts to happen, when we get more intimate with how to flip that switch between stress and rest, digest, repair, then we can spend more time in the parasympathetic nervous system, which begins to regenerate us. And then maybe we can start to also explore what they call the polyvagal state. So we're in both a state of high alertness and high function, which is, kicking on your sympathetic nervous system, and simultaneously in a state of ease and flow. And what they're talking about now is this polyvagal state, which is like a super high level of human function, and we can possibly get there even more often and more gracefully through the practices of the yoga of sound. And it's my opinion and my experience, having spent more than 20 years in and out of India and meeting some yogis and yoginis who really are expressing a level of human capacity that is almost unfathomable for the ordinary person like us. And the techniques that they have used to engage their potential are just fascinating and really worth exploring. So that's what we do here in the Heart of Sound, and starting to really open that up and see what can we do, how can we express the ultimate potential of the yoga of sound, and how is it relevant and applicable for our modern lives. So I have, again, a tremendous amount of resources available on the website, on the blog, on the course page, even all the way up to teacher training level, Nada yoga information, and the Sanskrit sounds and the mantra work as well. And yeah, we'd love to see you either online or somewhere around the world in one of our retreats or classes. So thanks for being with us, and good luck. Have fun.